Hi, everyone, and welcome to Business 110, Introduction to Business. My name is Nicole Peters. I will be your instructor for this course. I did have a 10 a.m. meeting, optional Teams meeting set up. I didn't have anyone attend, which is fine. It is optional, so I thought I would go ahead and record this quick video. So first off, this is an 8-week accelerated course. We have a lot to cover in half the time, so let's get ready to work. We do have assignments that are due tomorrow and Sunday, so let's go ahead and take a look. So tomorrow, Tuesday, March 11th, we have the CEQ that's due. We also have the Getting Started. Getting Started has two different assignments in there. You have the discussion board and the Getting Started quiz. Everything you need to know is located in the Getting Started. I assure you, if you go through that in its entirety and read the syllabus, you will do just fine. All your questions, well, I shouldn't say all your questions, but most of your questions should be answered by just reading the syllabus and looking at that course schedule. All right, let's talk about that syllabus for just a moment. So the syllabus is pretty much the roadmap for your success. Everything you need to know for this class is located in the syllabus. This includes the attendance policy, the late work policy, assignment requirements, anything that you need to be successful. I can guarantee it will be found in that syllabus. I will say that students never, a lot of students don't read the syllabus, and it's quite obvious for a couple different reasons. But one of the reasons is they'll ask questions or send me an email that was discussed in the syllabus in great detail. And so if you were to ask a question, if a student asks questions that can easily be found in the syllabus, I'm going to go ahead and redirect you back to the syllabus for those answers. Instead of spoon feeding you the information, I'm going to try to have you put on those critical thinking hats and look into the syllabus first. Now, obviously, if you need clarification or if there's something that maybe you want more information on, I certainly don't mind answering those questions. Hopefully, the syllabus is written in such a way that you would need to, but I'm not perfect, and so I would like to hope, or I'd like to think that most of the answers are found in there. So obviously, if it's a question that needs more clarification, I'd be happy to help. But if it's a simple question that can be found, I'm going to redirect you back. Let's talk a little bit about attendance, late work. I think we talk a little bit about the attendance, the late work, and then I'll talk a little bit more about the syllabus in just a moment. First off, Wake Tech has an attendance policy. And so this is a 8-week online accelerated course. And for an 8-week online accelerated course, the college allows the students to be absent one time. So what does that mean? Absent in an online course. If you haven't taken a online course before, you might not be familiar with how we take attendance. So how we take attendance on an online course is that an absence equals missing work for the week. So as long as you're doing your work for the week, you won't have an absence. It's really simple. If you were to skip a week, then you get an absence. And that's how that's taken. That's how attendance is taken. I will tell you that 2 absences does equal withdraw from the course. So there is no prior warning. If you miss 2 weeks, I go ahead and withdraw you automatically. That's just, unfortunately, there's not a lot of time for me to go through and keep track of who's attending on a weekly basis, who's not, since it's only an 8-week class. It's really, it's up to the students to manage whether they've been taking classes or attending the class or not. My system automatically flags as soon as it's the 2 weeks. They'll tell me and then I'll withdraw. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at late work policy. So I will tell you that the college has a pretty stringent late work policy across the board. I know as a department, we have a pretty stringent late work policy, the business department. And I feel like that's the same for all of your courses. I have yet to meet an instructor at Wake Tech that has a lenient late work policy where they allow you to turn in things whenever you want, right? There needs to be some sort of motivation in order for students to do their work timely, because in life, as you know, we have deadlines, we have responsibilities, we have to show up to work on time, we have to pay our bills on time, and that's the same for college. And honestly, if we didn't have a late work policy, it would be unfair to those students who are doing their work timely to allow late work for others who just do it whenever they feel like it. So we do have a late work policy in the business department. It's not exactly the same across the board, but it's very similar from teacher to teacher. All right, so in the old days, I used to be able to have a more lenient policy because it was very easy for me to track. You would think technology would make it even more easier to track who's being late and who's not. Um, yes and no. So unfortunately, we use, well, I shouldn't say unfortunately, let me back up. We use Connect, which is McGraw-Hill, the publisher. We use their software. Now, Connect unfortunately does not have a setting that allows me to seamlessly track when students do their work past the due date, because if they did, I would be more than happy to have some sort of late work policy that allowed you to submit past the deadline for a deduction of points. It's really simple, right? Unfortunately, Connect does not allow for that. And what that means is a lot of administrative work on my end. I would have to go in on almost a daily basis. This class has 45 students. I would have to go in on a daily basis and track all 45 of you to see who's turning things in on time and who is not. And it's just an administrative nightmare. So across the board, I assure you that all of us professors who are teaching this course have a late work policy that says when it comes time for the Connect assignments, they cannot be turned in late. Right, so Connect course, any of that work cannot be turned in late. The discussion board posts, however, and discussion board posts cannot be turned in late. The reason why discussion board posts can't be turned in late is because this is supposed to be a discussion and engaging with your fellow students in an almost real-time manner. Of course, the discussion boards are within that week. You know, it is kind of hard to have a real-time discussion because it is online. However, we try to keep it within that time frame of that week, and so that's why those cannot be turned in late. However, I do allow leniency when it comes to the written assignments. I do allow students to turn in your written assignments past the due date because I do realize that life gets lifey, things happen. And so if that were to happen, you can go ahead and turn those in for just a 10% deduction for every day that it's late, up to 50%. I will even take late work at the end of the semester up to 50% on the written assignments only. All right, so to wrap up the late work policy, basically nothing can be turned in late except the written assignments. And if it is turned in late, there is a 10% deduction. Now, I will tell you that I set the course up in such a way that if you miss a couple of assignments, I promise you it is not the end of the world. So the way my course differs from others at Wake Tech is I use a point system. And so a point system is really simple. The course has a total of 1,000 points. As you work along, every assignment is worth 20, 10, 25, 40 points, depending on what it is, and you accumulate points. At the end of the semester, if you want to earn an A, you just need 900. 900 to 1,000 is an A, 800 to 899 is a B, and so on. Right, so there are a total of 1,000 points. So let me give you an example. Let's say you have a bad week and you weren't able to do the quizzes or maybe one of the discussion boards. That you did some of the homework and you did the written assignment, but maybe you missed a quiz. Well, the quizzes are only worth 10 points, right? And so 10 points out of 1,000, it's minimal. It's not going to affect your grade. Now, if you were to blow off the quizzes every week, eventually that will add up. But 10 points, 20 points, 30 points, out of 1,000, I assure you, is not the end of the world. It's not going to drop your grade. Um, but it depends on how consistent you are as well. If you're consistently missing, then yes, it will affect your grade. But if you have a bad week, it'll be all right. Written assignments. Let's talk a little bit about the written assignment requirements. First off, no text box submissions. You must upload either a Word or PDF type file, and no Google Docs or no links to Google Drive or OneDrive. Now, if you're wondering what a text box submission is, I'm going to go ahead and refer you to the syllabus. It talks about that in more detail. Basically, you need to upload, this is college, you need to upload either a Word or a PDF type file and make it a more professional type assignment. So Again, these are just for the written assignments. All requirements for the written assignments are located on the instructions and the grading rubric. I'll show you where that is in just a moment. All right, let's go ahead and pop over to the course. So when you first come in, you're going to go ahead and see the course entry quiz. Talked about that earlier. Please make sure that you take that course entry quiz by the 11th. The rest of the materials will not be available to you until you take that course entry quiz. So please go ahead and take that. Again, failure to take that prior to the due date will result in you being withdrawn from the course. And here's course materials. There's always some questions about the course materials. If you are enrolled in Eagle Advantage, you do absolutely nothing. You are all set. Don't even worry about that. If you are part of, if you're a high school student or you decided to opt out of the Eagle Advantage for whatever reason, you will need to purchase an access code. So please make sure that you purchase that access code. You can purchase it through the bookstore, or you can purchase it right when you go in to your very first chapter and you click on McGraw-Hill's homework assignment. It's going to ask you for that access code. You can go ahead and purchase it on the spot. Either is fine. I will tell you that work is due fairly soon, so you're going to need to get that access code as soon as possible. So just go ahead and summarize. If you're in the Eagle Advantage, you do nothing. It'll automatically do everything for you. If you opted out, or if you're a high school student in the career and college program Promise, you will need to buy an access code, and you can either get it from the bookstore or purchase it on the spot. Let's talk a little bit about the getting started. I mentioned this before. The getting started is due on the 11th as well with the course entry quiz. And it just goes through the different areas. So in order to navigate, you're just going to go to the very first tile here. And then this very first tile will tell you a little bit about the course. You will have navigation buttons up to the right where you can hit next and previous. I don't have that because I have my instructor format, but making sure that you're reading through all of this information, a lot of good intel there. Here's the course syllabus. And you're more than welcome to download it and read it, print it out, whatever you need to do. But it has all the information that you need. It's a little bit about the homework. It also talks a little bit about how you receive credit for the homework right here. All pages within the chapter must be clicked on, and all questions must be answered to earn credit. I'll show you where the homework is in just a moment. So as you're going through and you're wondering how you can earn points for the homework, if you read the syllabus, you'll see that it's outlined in there. Right, here we have calendar and due dates, and talks again about attendance, which I've already spoken about, so I'm not going to talk about it, but it's here and it's also in the syllabus. And then I have a course schedule here. You can print this out and use it as a checklist. The reason why I say print things out a lot, it's not that I'm antiquated and old, but there's a lot of studies that show that things that are hard copied, either in a textbook or printed out on paper, our brains are actually able to process that information easier than it is if it's on a screen. So I know we're used to screens. We have a lot of screen time. We're used to that. But believe it or not, we might be used to it. Physically, we might be used to it. However, our mental processing skills have not quite adapted yet. And so studies have shown, extensive studies have shown that anything that you read online, whether it's a textbook or an article, our brains have a harder time grasping that information than if it was to be printed out. And so that's why I say try to print things out if you can. I don't know if we have access to printers at the school, but if you have a printer at home, there's a lot of good things that come from printing out and having a hard copy. So again, those calendar due dates are right there. Faculty information, that's information about me. Course guidelines. Here I talk about your textbook a little bit more. And here is your first assignment, your discussion board post. You can just click on that and it'll take you right to the discussion board. And then your getting started quiz. So you'll see that there are due dates here, and then the optional Teams meetings are found in here as well. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at chapters 1 and 2, and then I will wrap things up. So first off, chapters 1 and 2, uh, we have a couple different tiles in here. This talks about the synopsis, and it just kind of gives you an idea of what to expect. It's kind of like a preview or a trailer for a movie. Tells you what to expect. Here are your outcomes or weekly tasks. This tells you all of your different requirements that are or assignments that are due. So each week you will have a chapter homework and then a chapter quiz, and then either a discussion board or a written assignment. So let me go back to the calendar for just a moment. Let me show you that. It's easier to visualize it, so I will pull that up. And so you'll see that you have chapter 1 homework that's due on the 16th. So here are the 3 assignments due on the 11th. And then on the 16th, you have 5 assignments. You have the chapter 1 homework and quiz, the chapter 2 homework and quiz, and then a written assignment, and then the points as well. So every week, it's homework and quiz, and then either the discussion board or assignment, sometimes both. It depends on the week. And you can go through and see that there. So when we pull into Module 1, or we pull up Module 1, we'll see that we have chapters 1 and 2. And then here's where you earn the points. See where it says Chapter 1 homework? That is where you earn your points. I'm going to go ahead and try to mark that a little bit more clear. I'm going to probably change that. I don't like how that's worded. This is Chapter 1 homework. I'm going to put a due date there, I think. Oh, no, here's the due date. It's right there. Never mind. I see it. We got a new Blackboard last semester, and so it's a little bit, I'm still trying to get used to it. We have Blackboard Ultra now. It's just a little bit different. So there is the due date, the 16th. All right, so you can see Chapter 1 homework. It is due. So anything that has a due date is an assignment. Make sense? So here you can see Chapter 1 materials. I'm not seeing anything that says due date. Therefore, you know that's not an assignment. So here's the Chapter 1 homework. It's the very first one. You'll click on there, and then you'll launch assignment. I'm not going to go in there because when I do, I actually see students' grades. I don't want to pull that up. But what you'll do is you'll go through, and that's your online textbook. So how you earn points for homework is you go through the different pages, you answer all the different questions, and then as you answer those questions, you will earn credit. So it actually says it right here. It says make progress by completing the concepts. The number of questions will vary, depend on your individual needs. It's okay to get the question wrong. You still earn 100% if you complete it all. The quiz is a little bit different. So this one you do have to get correct. Obviously, it's a quiz. And so you can see that is also due on the 16th. And you have 10 minutes for about 10 questions. You do have 2 attempts. So you can take it and see how you do. And if you didn't do too well, you can always take it again. And then underneath that, you have Chapter 2 materials. I have 2 videos in here that I used for previous classes. So I think they might be a couple years old. So I don't know if some of this stuff is not necessarily relevant, but certainly can help with your assignment. Um, so economics and then the different economic systems. Hopefully this will help with your written assignment as well. And then Chapter 2 homework, Chapter 2 quiz, and then your Chapter 2 assignment. Let me go ahead and show you the assignment. When you pull it up, you'll have the instructions. And then down here, you have the different requirements. So this is where I talk about not using pages or links to drives, that you must use a Word or PDF type file. Has to have your name and date, different things required for you to get a good grade. Also talks about plagiarism and the use of AI. I think AI is a great tool. However, AI does not help with your critical thinking skills. And so I don't care if you're not a good writer. That's not important to me. This is not an English class. This is not a writing class. I could care less if your writing is subpar. We have tutors. We have different resources for you. Some people write eloquently, others do not. I want to make sure that you get the concepts. And so obviously I want to make sure that your assignment has, free from spelling mistakes and basic grammatical mistakes, are not in your paper. But if you're not the best writer, That's okay. Uh, I want to make sure that you understand the concepts. And so right now, I have it set to where AI technology is not allowed. Because at the end of the day, if you're using AI for these types of assignments, you're not learning anything. A lot of these are just very, tell me what you think the difference is between, communism, socialism, and free market is. Um, I, I know you can Google it and look it up. That's not the point of the assignment. That serves no purpose. So please make sure that you're using your own thoughts, your own words, your own thoughts. If you do pull something, maybe you need a little bit more clarification on what communism is, and you pull something from the internet, no problem. I don't have a problem with that, but make sure you cite that information. Citations either MLA or APA format. Now, if you're new to college and you're not used to writing and citation, uh, using citations and references, we do have a writing center that can help you out. I certainly can do that. I'm not a stickler. It doesn't have to be exact with the citations, but I will tell you sticking a URL at the end of the page does not count as far as citations are concerned. So let's go ahead and look at the grading rubric for the first week. So this will show you all the things that you need to do in order to earn the different points. So for instance, right here, did you put your name and date and course at the top of the paper? If you did, you get 3 points. Did you upload Word or RTF type file or a PDF type file? RTF, PDF, they're similar. Did you upload a document? If you did, you just earned yourself 8 points. Uh, did you have great spelling and no grammatical mistakes? If you did, you earned yourself another 4 points. All right, let's talk a little bit about the analysis, real life examples, uh, understanding, and then citations. So here's where a lot of students will get their points deducted. Either they don't use any references, or if they do, they just stick a URL at the end. That is not proper citation. So please make sure that you are properly citing. That includes not only a reference page, but an in-text citation as well, meaning where, like in the paper, where did you use your source? You have to have, parentheses and where you're pulling that source from. If you have any questions on how to cite, there's a lot of information out there on the internet. That's the one thing I will tell you to use the internet for. Ask AI how to cite your paper, and it certainly will help you do that. That I don't have a problem with using AI, but as far as writing your paper, please do not use it. We do have AI tracking, not tracking, but it'll plagiarism tools and different AI I forget what the word is I'm looking for, but it can detect AI detection. It can detect if you're using AI, so please don't use it. I would much rather you have uh, your assignments in your own wording than the use of AI. All right, so that basically wraps it up. Um, let's go ahead and summarize what is due. So first off, 3 things are due on the 11th. You have the course entry quiz, and then the getting started. In the getting started, there are 2 assignments. So those are your 3 things. So the course entry quiz is due, and then getting started is due. Specifically, the getting started quiz and the introduction to the discussion board. Now, how you can determine if it's an assignment, because all of these things might blend together and you're not sure if it's an assignment or not. You want to quickly go through and kind of determine what is the assignment here? What am I looking at? Just look for a due. All right, I just disconnected. I'm not sure at what point uh, I got disconnected. So I was basically summarizing that the things that were due are the course entry quiz and the getting started. How to determine what is due. You can always just look in here and look for a due date. So I can see that this is an assignment because there's a due date there. Things that don't have a due date are not assignments. They're just resources. All right, so those 3 things are due tomorrow. And then on Sunday, you have your very first module due. It's chapter 1 and 2. Those are due on Sunday. And please reach out if you have any questions. All right, thank you so much and take care.